Would you believe me if I said this painting of a torn Campbell soup can sold for $11.7 million at an art auction in May of 2006? Would you believe me that this was not even hand-painted, but done by a printmaking method? How could such a blatantly mundane commercial painting sell for so much? Titled Small Torn Campbell's Soup Can, or Pepper Pot, finished in 1962, was an extension of a more famous series of 32 canvases of Campbell soup cans. There are 32, one of each of the canned soup varieties the company offered at the time. Each individual painting was produced by the same printmaking method between November 1961 and April 1962. The 32 set was sold as a whole for $1,000 that same year, states website Art Daily. The reason behind why these pieces of art are so valuable lies within the person who created them, which was Andy Warhol. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Warhol initially pursued a successful career as a commercial illustrator. After exhibiting his work in several galleries in the late 1950s, he began to receive recognition as an influential yet controversial artist. Warhol created many inspiring works of art in his lifetime, on top of being involved in many other fields of artistry, such as music, film, writing, and more. But focusing on his role in modern art history paints a clearer picture as why he is referred to as the Pope of Pop. Warhol is credited with kickstarting the pop art movement. It was a movement which sought to connect fine art with the masses and involved using imagery that ordinary people could recognize and relate to. One of Warhol's most noted works is the Marilyn Diptych, which is silkscreen painting depicting Marilyn Monroe. It has been suggested by art critics that the relation between the left and the right side of the canvas represents the relation between Monroe's life and death. As you can see, it fades from color to black and white. The article by Fade On states his other celebrity subjects included Elizabeth Taylor, Mick Jagger, and Mao Zedong. So why controversial? During the post-war period in the United States, the abstract expressionism art movement was dominant. One of the famous abstract expressionists were Jackson Pollock. These types of works held up to the fine art values and aesthetics. Warhol's art, being a semi-mechanized process, non-painterly in style, and being of commercial subject, was viewed as a direct affront to the technique and philosophy of abstract expressionism. Warhol's art led to many debates on the merits and ethics of his works, and others coming into the pop art movement. These topics are still debated today, circling back to how some people might be shocked that a print-made painting of a torn can of soup can be sold for $11.7 million. Warhol's Campbell Soup Can series, which is currently on display at the Museum of Modern Art, were an important influence on pop art as a major art movement in the United States. In the video, Why Is This Art?, the two men, Stephen and Saul, discuss why Andy Warhol's Campbell Soup Can is considered art.
It does evoke something in me, so I'm inclined to say yes, but then there's a bunch of other things that say, well, if I didn't see this in a museum, if I just saw this in the marketing department of Campbell Soup, would you be viewing it differently?
Because it's advertising then.
Yes.
But in the context of the museum or in the context of Andy Warhol's studio, it's not quite advertising, right?
Even if it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And the idea here is by putting it in the museum and saying, look at this in a different way.
Well, that's right. It really does relocate it. It does change the meaning. It does transform it. And that's really one of the central ideas of modern art, is
So basically, they explain that if you saw these works in a marketing ad or campaign, you would instead view it as just an advertisement. But putting it in a museum, the context of a museum, or in an art studio, it changes the view of this subject material. It's saying, look at this in a different way. Warhol's other pop art works depicted Coca-Cola bottles, hamburgers, and vacuum cleaners. So by taking something that is ordinary or something not based in skill, and you relocate it in a museum or art studio, you are making people look at it in a different way. It becomes a focal point, it becomes art. And that is the central idea behind pop and modern art, and the foundation of Andy Warhol's life works.